welcome to HebrewLingo, a YouTube course where you can learn Hebrew at your own pace. My name is Ryan. I have spoken Hebrew since I was very young, and I've noticed for a long time that there are not very many free online resources over Hebrew, which honestly sucks because it's a really awesome language. So the first thing I want to say is Shalom, hello. I am very excited to start off this course with you guys. I'm really excited about all that will be taught. Hebrew is something that I learn something new in every day, and the teaching process will be very unique to the language. So you might be wondering how this course might be taught. Well, I'm actually basing a lot of the curriculum off of the Duolingo Hebrew course because I like the way that they teach the alphabet, but I don't think that Duolingo explains it enough for what it needs to have. So you can actually watch my videos first and then go into Duolingo and do the corresponding lessons. One thing that I find the most difficult in courses is that once people teach something, they tend to move on and never go over it again. So I've decided that I'm actually going to reteach things a few times so that you guys definitely get it, especially really important things like basics. So for example, you guys are going to learn pronouns the way that Duolingo teaches them. However, I'm actually going to make my own lesson that goes over them again so that you guys kind of get it, because that's actually pretty important. I will also be putting a really good video about the Hebrew alphabet in the next video in this playlist, and I recommend you guys watch that before watching my videos, and then I'm going to go over the letters that we're going to be using in each lesson again, just like Duolingo did. Duolingo does it in a very unique way where they actually clump together and teach words based on a group of letters that they've given us. So every lesson they teach about 4 different letters. I honestly think it's a really good system, so I'm definitely going to be implementing that into my first few lessons. So if you guys don't immediately grasp the alphabet, that's okay because we're going to be going over it again. Okay, so here's a really interesting part. Pronunciation. Hebrew pronunciation is definitely interesting. It's something that you can definitely grasp. It's something that will take some time to learn. But you don't need to worry because it's just something that you kind of grasp the more and more you hear it. Now, the more difficult part in Hebrew pronunciation is the guttural sounds, which we actually don't have in English. Basically, guttural sounds are produced in the back of the throat and sound along the lines of r and ch. But don't worry, I'm not gonna leave you in the dark there because it was something that I had to work with as well, and I have a few techniques that I've used that I will be making a video about after this video. So once you got it, you're good, don't worry, it's literally just muscle memory. So reading Hebrew is kind of like reading English. Basically, if you've tried to learn a language before, you'll notice that a lot of languages have phonetic alphabets, which means that what you read is exactly how it sounds. Hebrew is not like that, and that might sound kind of scary, but please don't worry because it's exactly the way that English is. I will walk you through all the pronunciations, so you guys don't need to worry. I promise you that you're gonna learn all the words and you'll be completely fine. You also might already know this, but Hebrew is actually written right to left instead of left to right like English, but it's really not as big of a mix-up as you'd think it'd be. Grammar is literally my favorite part of Hebrew because it is really easy. You guys are going to love it. It's gonna be super duper easy. It's not far off from English or Spanish in terms of order. It's really easy. You guys are gonna love it. It's so easy. Now, just like Spanish, Hebrew is a gendered language, so the gender of the noun that you're talking about actually affects the conjugation of the verbs that you're using. So whenever I'm introducing new vocabulary, I will be highlighting yellow all of the masculine words so that you kind of understand that a little bit like in your brain. You're also gonna learn a little bit later that plurals also affect the conjugation of the words, but once you figure out the gender of the words that you're talking about, you're gonna be fine. And just like Spanish, if there's one guy in a group, then it's automatically masculine. But I think a really important part of this course that's going to make it kind of unique is I am really not afraid to use other resources. I will be including a Quizlet every time we learn new vocabulary so you can kind of like learn that. I might make some unit reviews like towards the end of certain sections and you guys can kind of work with that. And of course, you know that a lot of my lesson plans are from Duolingo, and I've done a pretty good amount of research into the free resources online that you can use, so I'm just gonna be putting them all in one place so that you guys don't even like need to search. Now, the biggest piece of advice that I can give you guys is that if you are stuck, just keep moving forward. I know that's really difficult to say, and sometimes you'll kind of be like freaked out by that whenever you're not talking about it in the next episode or so, but I typically go over things again. And if I happen to not go over it again, it's totally fine because this is a video series, so you can really just rewatch as much as you'd like. So this will be the end of the little introduction here. Thank you so much for choosing HebrewLingo. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment, and I will see you in the next lesson.